Hi-oh, welcome back to the final whistle. We're back again. The three boys are back. We're not here for the championship predictions, so we're not going to bore you for a bloody hour in a bit. It's not going to be much blah, blah, blah in this one. Maybe from an Ipswich point of view, because they're doing far better than we are. But evening, boys. How are we? Steve?
Okay, I muted myself because I was eating. Yeah, I'm good. How are you guys since we last saw each other less than an hour ago?
No different.
No different, no. I've changed from jumper to jacket. I did have the Mick McCarthy Christmas jumper on, but yeah, I've took it off. Yeah, I need to keep myself a bit more warmer, I think. Rich, how are we? Welcome back to the channel again, Rich.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Nice
It's like your second home now, Rich, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like I might even actually meet you in person. Well, I'll meet you, Jack. Steve's gallivanting, and is he off for lunch or something? Did he say?
I'm off for lunch, but yeah, you might get to meet me. Depends what time you get in there, really. What's your plan?
I'll probably be there 1-ish, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, I might be finished by lunch by then. We'll see.
Yeah.
We can discuss.
Oh, yeah.
It depends. Are you somebody that gets into the ground like 40 minutes before, or do you wait until?
I don't leave it until 10 minutes before kickoff. I like to get in there about half hour before, probably.
Well, I'll wave at you anyway.
Yeah. Where are you compared to where we are? So you're up the other end, aren't you, Jack?
Yeah, we're directly like opposite end to end.
Yeah, I'm direct from the corner, so where I am, I can see the exact way.
Are you near where Jack is, Steve?
Yeah, but I'm further up. For some reason, Jack likes being quite low down, and I've got to be higher up so I can see the rest of the game. So
I'll tell you what, some of the away days and the last away days, have been fantastic higher up, I must say. Gives me a bit more better view of the game, I think. It's a bit hard sometimes when people's heads are in the way, but no. Welcome to the preview, everyone. Ipswich is the next opponent for Leicester's. The Tractor Boys come to the KP. Informant, by the way, the return of George Hurst, Mr. Bread and Butter. Will that bread be buttered, or will that bread go?
Kasey McAteer. Don't leave
the £12 million sensation.
Yeah, let's not say
Kasey McAteer please. Returns home. So yeah, I'm sure them boys.
What sort of reception will they get?
I think they'll get a good reception. Kasey more so. George Hurst, he was more in our academy. I think he featured about once or twice, but McAteer, Leicester fans liked him. He always gave 100%, but
he was shit.
Abdul Fattah William Aberdeen.
Well, I still can't believe we got £12 million for him. That's for sure.
He might not have been the best player, but his effort was there, and that's what we like to see as Leicester fans. Someone who gives everything for the team, and we'll see what happens at the weekend. I'm sure he'll have an eye for goal at the weekend. The amount of bloody sitters he's missed for Ipswich. Webber, how are we? Rich, hi-oh, onward with a City roller coaster. Well, let's hope it ain't as bad as the home game against Sheffield United, Rich, mate? And then we'll talk. Are you still at the pub having a pint? Oh, we are on. Well, we are on, yeah. Steve's back from his concert. I'm back from Bristol City away after a long night at Bristol.
What time to get in?
2 o'clock.
It's not bad when you go away if you're winning it and you get home late. And I know you took a draw, but you were 2-0 up and you think
it felt like a defeat.
It does.
You know?
I mean, it's not as bad as maybe getting the bus back from Southampton, though, Jack?
let's not talk about them sort of.
Or I guess leaving Blackburn after 80 minutes, knowing you've got to go back there again.
Yeah, not great. But scoring a 94th minute and 52nd equaliser when there's 10 seconds left in the game is always nice.
Yeah. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Go and subscribe to Suffolk Crunch. Rich, what's going on at Suffolk Crunch?
I've just done my Stoke review. So if anyone wants to watch that, go and check it out. And I'll do my Leicester preview tomorrow afternoon when McKenna's done his press conference.
You were a few minutes late. Well, we have to do our hair these days. You know, I mean, I've not got much after it.
Barnett, look at that, Barnett. Well,
He's spray painted it. Don't let it fool you. It's spray painted.
I'm doing good.
Steve,
I couldn't give a shit. I'm happily married, and it doesn't really matter anymore.
That's all right, mate. Normally when we see Steve at games, he has a cap on, you know.
That's right. If you see me at the weekend, I'll be wearing dungarees for the first time. So
dungarees,
look forward to
very
it.
nice.
Yeah.
Dungarees, are they all the rage?
Well, no, I'll be honest. My wife likes this. It's like a gender-neutral brand called Lucy and Yak, and they have the comfiest fleeces in the world. And she's like, "Oh, why don't you try a pair of good dungarees on? I'm sure you'll like them." And I put them on, and I was like, "Oh, these are comfy." So yeah, they've become like comfy wear where I go to gigs or football because it can calm me out.
I'll see a picture of you wearing them somewhere.
Yeah, a gig. Yeah, I was wearing them at the gig the other day. Yeah, very comfy.
Michael, don't you dare, my friend. That's just stirring up trouble. That is coming in here and talking like that, Michael. How are we, Terry? Good to see you last night, mate, at the game. Obviously not the best second half, mate, but first half. We obviously won it, mate, so but we only got a point. So we'll talk about Bristol City in a minute. But Rich, Steve, Leicester versus Ipswich, both sides. Well, Leicester sit 13th, Ipswich sit 4th. 6 points between the two sides after 20 games. We're nearly at the halfway stage, boys. What have you both made of the championship so far? We'll start with you, Steve.
Do you want my opinion about Leicester or just the whole championship?
Just in general, please, before we talk about Leicester.
Okay. I mean, to be fair, there's one team that's sort of running away with it, as we can see with Coventry. The rest, really, from sort of, I'd say Millwall down to maybe sort of Wrexham. You know, any of those teams could put in a performance, win 4 or 5 on the bounce, and get into that playoffs and you know, set themselves up for the rest of the season. So I like the fact it's an open championship, but it's unpredictable because teams can beat teams, you know, when you wouldn't expect it, as we found out by the predictions, because we're very bad at predicting. You as well, Rich. You're bad as well. Leave us alone. But overall, I would say that it's a lot closer than the last 3 or 4 years, isn't it? You know, there have been teams that have set a pace and just ran away with it. Like, you know, when we both went up the first time a couple of years ago, you had Leeds and Burnley last season with Sheffield United to an extent as well. Leeds the season before. Whereas now I feel like, yes, Coventry will probably run away with it themselves. But, you know, with the fact that Middlesbrough could lose to anybody from, you know, 21st, 20th, 19th, 18th upwards. So, yeah, it's a decent league, I would say, this year. It's very unpredictable. It's not great for a Leicester fan that wants to go up, but, you know, it is what it is. But it's just nice to see that the parachute teams haven't gone, like, balls to the wall, spent loads of money, and are running away with themselves, you know. It's not like Leicester, we've not spent anything, but like Ipswich and Southampton, sort of, you know, quite a bit of money spent. And even Norwich, who have spent a lot of money, they're in the relegation zone. So, yeah, overall, it's a good league. I quite like the championship.
Rich, what's been your thoughts on the championship so far? Obviously, being back in it, and what have you made of the parachute payment side?
I think last time, after 20 games, I'm not sure where you were probably quite close on the points total. I think we were on 48 points, boys, after 20 games last time, 2 years ago. And I mean, we're on 34 now. So
we had 49 back then.
Yeah, so there you go. So that shows how consistent we both were 2 years ago. Look, I think it's hard when you come down, like with us, our season didn't really get going until into September, because when that window doesn't close until the end of August, and there was like Hutchinson Delap went early, but you're waiting on certain players who you probably know are going to leave, and then you're probably looking at getting replacements in. So I'm not making excuses, but we started quite slowly, because we still had to. Our squad wasn't settled. Whereas now we're getting a bit of form. Probably a little bit like Southampton. They probably had a poor start, didn't they, under Will Still, and then he got the sack. And then there's a lot of games that you lads, you're 6 points behind us, Jack. But there's games like last night. You should have been winning that game. You're 2-0 up. I know you're away from home. Yep. See out 15, 20 minutes into that second half, and you win the game. Don't give a goal away, and you give a goal away. What was it? 50 seconds into the second half. You can't be doing that, and that's points just you've thrown away. But look, the league is what it is. I don't think it's great for quality. I don't think it's as good as last time we were down here. But then it was good and it was exciting then because it was the free parachute team, Southampton, Leeds, and yourselves, and then us. We were the sort of the team in the mix who probably we had nothing to lose then because we come from League One and we had that confidence. Whereas now it's a little bit more pressure on us because when we come down, I'm not quite sure how they make us favourites straight away. It's obviously because that money you've got behind you, isn't it? It's not because we stunk the place out in the Premier League. I mean, we won 4 games all season and we finished below you because you beat us last time when we come up at the end of that last season. So, all right.
It didn't mean anything, but
but you got above us, and I think it's hard. And it's like when if no one's seen it, go and check out our predictions because we spoke about Wolves on there, and at the minute, our Wolves are really struggling in the Premier League, and if they go down in that real poor vein of form, football's not like you can't just turn on a switch and expect that just because you're in an inferior league. Yeah. It don't work that you just go down and then you start immediately winning. Because look at us. It's like we picked the same 11 on Saturday when we beat Coventry that we played at Oxford on the Friday before. And there's 2 totally different results. So it's still unpredictable. But you're hoping that sort of towards the end, you come to Christmas, then you go into the new year and then you've got the window. Hopefully, we've got a good squad. We probably need to add a couple, but hopefully in the end that quality might see it through. But we're still coming from. I know you still think, Jack, that we've got a chance of winning the league, don't you? Really, you said before we came on. Yeah. People might think we're 10 points behind Coventry. That's a lot to make up, but you think still got 26 games to go. Cov ain't won anything yet. They've had a great start, and no one can say that they haven't. But no one knows what's going to happen in the second half of the season. If you have injuries, suspensions, Coventry are probably going to sign some players in the window, which they probably need. But it's a long season. We're in there now. We've given ourselves half a chance, but it's just all about being consistent. That's what we've got to be from now till May.
Yeah, I had you locked down to win the title this season. I think Cardiff's finishing in the playoffs. It's not been what I expected. Obviously, Ipswich were favourites at the start with the bookies, as you'd expect with the All-Stars Championship side that you've got. Southampton, they've got good players, they've got quality in there. But then you look at Leicester, I think we were 7th favourite to go up with the bookies. So we weren't so much favourites with you with how things are at the KP at the minute. So it's about finding that sort of winning formula again. And it's took us time, hasn't it? Ipswich getting batterings last season, Leicester, Southampton. We went to hell and back. I think Southampton more so last season with how many points they ended up with at the end. I mean, even they could have broke Derby's record. They only just scraped it, by the way. So, yeah, it's not been the ideal start for Leicester. Obviously, ongoing matters off the pitch with PSR and that, obviously. Ongoing matters in the league where we seem to play well for one half and not for another half. And, sometimes we'll go 1-0 up and then think we've won the game. And that's a mentality thing that we need to get drilled into these players. The game ain't over and it's not just a 45-minute game of football. And then we've obviously got a manager who speaks.
But where does that come from, Jack? Like last night's performance, because you're winning 2-0.
Yeah.
Who's to blame for that? Is it the players? Is it the manager, or is it a combination of both?
Honestly, I'd blame the manager because against Derby, we were comfortable in the first half, and then he set us up to sit back a lot more. in the second half against Derby, and they threw it at us second half, and we just dealt with everything. But Bristol City are a lot more better than Derby. They've got some good players in there, Twine, McAteer, players like that who can. They've got Sinclair Armstrong, who's a big, powerful striker up front who will cause you problems and shove you about a bit. So Struber, I think he changed it in the right sort of transition in the game that he knew he needed to, because Leicester were very much on top at that point. But then we come out sluggish. We concede a sloppy goal. Stolar's obviously got to do better with that goal in the first one to get beat near post. It's poor from a goalkeeper. But then Bristol City battered us second half. We had one shot on target in the second half, and the manager changes it. What with substitutions, which I thought were poor in timing. The players that he changed each other for, I thought were poor in the game. I think it all comes to game management, Rich, with Cifuentes, and he's getting out-fought every time by these managers. And it's not just been Bristol City that we've seen it this season with him. It's been Portsmouth at home, Wrexham at home. Teams that you need to be beating in this league, he's getting out-fought by their managers. So we seem to be leading games, yeah, but we're not seeing it out. We think it's comfortable and already won. So that I'd say that's sometimes a player thing as well, the mentality. But yeah, I do think the manager's gone in there at half-time and said, boys, you are comfortable here. Bristol City didn't really do much in the first half. Just go and sit off them, let them come on you, and then play counter-attack. But every time we cleared the ball, it just come back to them. And then they scored 2 bloody goals. And the goalkeeping bloody goals that we do concede, it's shocking by the last 6. So, I don't know. We deserve 3 based on the first half performance. When going in at half time, but the second half, it was tragic. But that's down to the manager again. That book falls at the manager for me. And I don't think he's a great manager. I think he's a bang average championship manager at best. And that for me, I want him to do well, but I just don't think he's got that substance in the way he talks. He talks like Guardiola, but hasn't got it. So my understanding is with Marty, he talks too much. His football doesn't follow his philosophy and what he says he's going to do. And QPR fans would say the same, because they were quite happy he left. And that sums it up. And he only got them 5 places higher. So it's frustrating. And I get he's been given a lot of a bad team and this, that, and the other. But the thing is, when you're a manager, Rich, you've still got to go into a job and get the best out of what you've got. And if you can't do that, that ball falls at your feet, mate. And last night, to drop points in the fashion that we did, it's shocking. And we've done that many times this season, leading a game and just throw it away. And I don't know. But I do think sometimes the championship quality is poor, with some of the teams you do come up against, where in the Premier League, they'll have 1 chance and they'll score. These teams probably need about 2-3 chances against you to get a goal. But it just seems with Leicester, we're just so easy and predictable to play against when we're changing. I don't know if Steve's looked at this. He changes the strategy 3 times. So he'll play a 4-4-2, a 4-3-3, and a 4-2-3-1. Why do you need to change it 3 times in a game? If it's not going, if it's not going wrong, don't change it. But he does. And it's like, it just blows up in his face, basically. Steve, on to you, mate, about Leicester.
I think the thing is that we're clearly in between 2 sets of players. We've had there are players at this club that have been there since sort of 5 or 6 managers ago. So the style of play has shifted significantly from Club Puel, which is Ricardo Pereira, to Brendan Rodgers with quite a lot of the squad, to Enzo Maresca with even more players, to Steve Cooper for some reason completely changing it all over to a different style of play, to Ruud van Nistelrooy, which I don't really count Ruud because the player that he signed isn't here, but he did bring through the youth players. My issue with Marty is that he's trying to play a certain style of football. It doesn't quite work with the players that he's got now. Because, yes, we were good 2 years ago, but that was under a manager that was very intense, that was this is plan A, you stick to plan A. If it's not working, we try plan A even harder. And the players were 2 years younger. So, Vestergaard was in his early 30s. Winks was, quite clearly one of the best players in this league for 6 or 7 months. And we had players like Dewsbury Hall, who was controlling. Look, I genuinely think that he probably could have been player of the season that year for the league, but somebody else took it off him. Was it Philogene who was it that got one player of the year
when you got promoted?
Yeah, was it your player?
No, it was Somerville at Leeds got
Somerville. That was it. Yeah. Whereas I think it probably could have been Dewsbury because he was doing it from midfield, pushing on. So if you take away Jamie Vardy and Dewsbury Hall and add 2 years to several players that are here, and also we've got players that don't want to be here, there's going to be that mismatch. And I just don't think the manager is strong enough to get the best out of these players.
Happy birthday.
Tactically, first half we played okay in the last couple of games. To score goals is great.
Yeah.
I don't understand his reasoning for sitting back on those leads when we've got such a yellow belly. As I said previously in the prediction show, we're quite weak when people come at us, and yet he seems to think that we can just sit back and absorb the pressure. That's not the case, and it won't be the case.
Negative.
So yeah, Leicester are very disappointing in that sense, and I don't think changing the manager is really going to change anything. I think we need to limp through until the summer, hope we don't get relegated with a points deduction, and then do a full rebuild then with the players that he actually wants to have at the club that want to be here. So yeah, I don't know. Leicester for me are very frustrating. You go from where we were 5 years ago to winning the FA Cup and being in a European semi-final. Okay, it was the Conference League, but still a European semi-final, to barely battling for the playoff spaces this year because the mismanagement of the club. And I don't blame the manager. I blame the hierarchy of the running of the football club. That's the issue. Yeah. They haven't come out and corrected the mistakes they made 4 years ago. And then they made the same mistakes again when we got relegated, and we pissed off the Premier League and the EFL, and then we went up and spent money on players that, after changing the style of play again, spent money on players that really weren't good enough, told the Premier League to piss off again, and now we're in the Championship, facing a points deduction this season, and we could have even have failed FFP last year, or PSR, or whatever it is nowadays. So, it's a cycle that keeps happening. And there needs to be change, and I don't think sacking the manager is helping with that cycle.
That's fair. Rich, Ipswich, McKenna, how have you found things this season? It sort of feels to me, I don't know if you've got the analogy of this, that teams have found out McKenna in the way he plays football. It seems like he has one plan.
Yeah.
But when they find him out in playing the way he does play, because he's played the same style of football for 3 seasons now since he's took over at Ipswich. Teams have really sussed him out in the Championship in how to play against Ipswich this season, because they've watched probably a lot of football in how McKenna played last year and the season before. Do you think you struggled a bit? I sort of think with Ipswich this season, you're very much hot and cold. You're good when you want to be, but then you're cold when you least expect you against some of these teams you need to be beating to be up there, because you're going to be the challengers this year, aren't you, again, as expected. But what's been your thoughts on how Ipswich have really started their season, and obviously the win against Stoke in midweek?
Well, I think when Kieran came in, I think it was December 21, see, we lacked, Jack, an identity as a football club, like an identity, a philosophy of how we were playing. We'd gone through a cycle of managers sort of when McCarthy left, and what you got when Mick was there. We were hard to beat, and we didn't have a lot of money. He was good in the transfer market with the loans and the frees, and then he went, and then obviously Paul Hurst come in, went totally against, like, he sold a lot of Championship quality players, and we signed League Two and League One players in the Championship. It was only going to end one way. Then obviously we went down, then Lambert come in, and then he's gone, and then Paul Cook's come in. So you had a cycle there of managers, and not a lot was happening. And then McKenna's come in, and is he predictable how he plays? Yeah, he probably is. But I think a lot of football managers are predictable how they play. They're quite stubborn, aren't they, football managers, because they believe in the way that they play, that it's the correct way to play. And I like that he sticks to his guns. Maybe sometimes in certain games you could maybe put another striker on, but he doesn't. He sticks to what he knows. We always struggle, especially at home, when a team comes and sits in low block defensive football, call it what you want. And like when Coventry came on Saturday, Stoke as well last night. They've come to play football. They haven't come to just spoil and defend, and they're happy with a draw. And that's why I wasn't that confident going into Saturday's game against Coventry, but I wasn't fearing playing them because I knew that they'd come and they'd play their football and it'd give Town a chance to play. They'd have more space because we've got some good players. But it's that mentality at the minute. Even look, we've won a couple of games. I still, with the team that got back-to-back promotions, we trusted them, because we knew if you go a goal down in a game, we had your Morses, you had Luongos. They had them people in there. You knew that we'd come back in a game. Whereas at the minute, I know they counted last season, like from games we've gone behind in. It's over 30 games, but I think the Premier League, you've just got, like they're including Steve and Jack, like when we've gone behind against Man City and Liverpool. Now, we all know when you go a goal down to them sort of teams, you're not coming back into them games. So you can look at stats any way you want.
Yeah.
But this season, it has continued that theme of when we concede first, we don't react very well. We're sometimes heads down your chins down, and you've just got to, when this team goes a goal down and comes back and wins the game, I'll start believing a little more. I'll have a bit more trust in. Whereas at the minute, I haven't got that trust. And this is why, we've picked up some form and we're sitting fourth, but I'm still not quite sure what I'm going to get on Saturday when I come to Leicester. I think we'll come and play quite well, but I'm not quite sure, whereas 2 years ago, we knew what we're getting. So there's been a big turnover of players. Yeah, we spent a lot of money. We've probably got better individual players than we had when we went up last time, but just because you've got better individual players doesn't mean you've got a better team. And at the minute, we're showing these last few weeks that we're improving and we're in the mix now. And I would expect going into Christmas, into the new year, that form should continue now. We've sorted out the defence. Defensively, I think we've got now the best record with Stoke. I think we've only conceded 19 goals. So that's good. I think we're lacking a strike. You'll probably see on Saturday George Hurst will play. We haven't upgraded since Delap's left.
Yeah.
I think that was obviously always going to be difficult to get someone in. I think football's, I was talking to one of my mates today, quality number nines, I think there's a lack of them. I think nowadays a lot of people, they want to be a wide striker, don't they? They don't want to be a number nine. No teams hardly, Steve, play two up front, do they? So it's trying to find, I don't know where we'll go in January and what sort of who we're going to aim for, but I would expect that they should have a list. Even like last time we went up, we signed Kiefer Moore. Excellent player in the Championship. He can do that job to get you out. And I think whoever we sign, I'd expect it probably to be a loan to get you through and hopefully get you promoted and get you over the line. And then you reassess and then you look at bigger and better targets going forward. But we're getting better. We're getting better without really hitting top gear yet. Last night we beat Stoke 1-0. Another cracker by Philogene. Pirro, but I've had people telling me he wouldn't fit Town's style of player because he's not a hold-up striker. But I look at Joel Pirro in the Championship. I think he'll guarantee you goals. It depends what you want in your team. Whereas last time, I know I'm talking about last time and quite a lot we went up. Hurst was good in the system we had. We had Connor Chaplin, we had Broadhead. It didn't really matter that Hurst wasn't scoring loads of goals, where we're not as prolific as we were last time. You've got Hurst, you've got Clark, and you've got Philogene. There are probably three main players who are going to score goals, at the minute. Eggerly, the lad we signed, the Norwegian, he's got a couple of goals. He scored at Blackburn, he scored at the weekend against Coventry. He's starting to come into form, but I think we'll be there or thereabouts at the end of the season. Probably at the minute, I'm probably edging towards playoffs. But if we can get a good striker in January, that could make the difference. That could push you into the top two. But I don't think we'll win the league. I'm not with you, Jack. I still think Coventry they've got to have a big meltdown, really, to not win the league. And I don't think at the minute we're not playing well enough. Can we do like a Coventry and go and win 10 out of 11? If you can do that, then you might have that conversation. But at the minute, we've won the last two. It's just all about the game against Leicester. Can we make it 3? And then we've got Sheffield Wednesday the week after. You'd think that's going to be another 3 points, but you just never know in this league.
I agree. I'll tell you what, let's talk about the game. Leicester Ipswich, big game. I think it's a big game for Leicester, a bloody another one for Ipswich at this point, to be fair. What have you 2 wins on the bounce at the minute, playing some good stuff. And you've really started to hit form at the right time going into the festive period. Leicester, I just don't know what to really expect from us, to be fair. Let's have a look at a few stats. Leicester are unbeaten against Ipswich in the last 6 meetings between the two. No 0-0 draws in the last 12 with Ipswich. Leicester have scored 9 goals in their last 5 matches. So we've scored 5 goals in the last 2 first halves. Hopefully we can get a few more again in the first half against Ipswich, to be fair. But Ipswich, they're a side who have won the most penalties in the league. Obviously, George Hurst is your penalty taker.
Hopefully not now.
Has he scored more penalties than he's missed this season? Or
he scored 1 at Birmingham. I think he scored 2. He missed 1, didn't he, at Borough? He missed 1 in the cup at Bromley. I don't think it depends. All depends, because Jack he's the penalty taker now, but he doesn't always start games. So it'd be interesting if we did get a penalty, who would take it? Because Hurst obviously missed his last one at Borough away, and then that was sort of a pivotal point in that game. So it'd be interesting if we did get one on Saturday, who would be the penalty taker?
Well, the last time you beat Leicester was the 26th of December, 2002. Was the last time you beat us at the King Power. Well, Walker Stadium, it was called back then.
I was a slip of a lad then. I was 26 years of age.
A final score of 2-1. Ipswich, they don't really have a great record at Leicester, do they? We'll have a look at last time round in a minute, but so we've had 2-0, 1-1, 3-0 Leicester, 6-0 Leicester.
Yeah, we'll gloss over that one. We'll gloss over
4-2. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, if we had a team like that now, I think we'd do a lot more better, to be honest. I think we need a Lloyd Dyer in the squad and bloody players like that, you know. In the last 12, it's been 6 wins to Leicester, 4 draws, and 2 wins for Ipswich. That's home and away, by the way. Steve, last time round we played Ipswich. I'll tell you what, we'll look at the Championship one. A 1-1 draw. I think it was a Leif Davis own goal, and then you got the late one, Rich.
Sarmiento.
An absolute clanger between Hermanson and bloody Hamza Chowdhury, Steve. These two sides seem to have a lot of draws against each other. What are you expecting this weekend, Steve, between the two sides? Because how do you think this man has got to prep himself ahead of this one? So he's showing frustration there, and that was last night against Bristol City. What does this man have to do to get it right ahead of this one? Because this is I'd say it's a big game for Leicester. You know, we need to play well. Obviously, a lot of 45-minute performances, but we're just not substituting that 90-minute performance that we want to see. There's been quite a lot more fight in the last 2 first half performances in the 4 points that we've got in our last 2 games. But how does Marty get it right against Ipswich?
So you started off saying, what do I expect from this game? And I'm going to say depression. Seasonal depression, but it'll be depression
That's what
anyway.
I was getting to.
Seasonal depression.
Will it be a Christmas miracle?
No, I don't think it will. I think, genuinely, I think that the issue we've got is that if you, as I said earlier on, if you set up and press us, then we struggle against most sides.
Yeah.
And you know, look, McKenna's a decent manager. He'll know the weaknesses of Leicester because it's so obvious for everyone to see. What am I hoping for? Well, I'm hoping for a clean sheet. That won't happen, but I'm hoping for it. You know, look, we've all wished on 11-11 before. We've all seen shooting stars. We've all, you know, blown out candles. And every time I blow out a candle, I wish that we get a clean sheet against Ipswich. That's all I've ever wished for. So, yeah. I'm going to So, yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea what to expect. But I guess Marty's going to set up the same as he did in the week, midweek. You know, Ricardo will come in for Hamza. But other than that, I can't see any other changes because you'll say, well, the first half was so good. You know, we'll keep it tight at the back and we'll do what we need to do. But yeah, I don't know. I think that we'll easily get overrun by all accounts, and you whip balls into our box and we're going to panic. So I'm looking forward to it. It's fun.
Well, I think this is a really tough game, to be honest. It's Ipswich have got the quality, haven't they? I mean, Leicester's got quality in the squad. Abdul when he's at it, Mavdidi when he's at it. Obviously, Mavdidi likes to get at Ipswich quite a bit. He obviously did last time. I'm hoping more the same from him again. But then you look at Jordan James, fantastic midfielder this season. He's our top scorer with 5 goals. I spoke to his uncle yesterday, Steve, in the Bristol City away end, Jordan James. He said he's really happy at Leicester. He said he would like to stay. And he said, obviously, I was asking him about the obligation. I say, it's obviously £4 million. He said, hopefully Leicester do pay the money to get him because, he's enjoying his time here. So that's a bit of a positive for me. That to me, you know what? At least we've got somebody who really does want to be here and wants to put on the shirt and give everything for
we were linked with him, Jack, in the summer, and I would have took him at Town because I really liked him when he was at Birmingham. I think he's a really good player at this level, and I think $4 million. I think it's
a steal, isn't it?
Yeah, that is. I think that really is. I think he's decent.
He's been our best player by far this season. You know, if you pick up somebody who's gave 100% in every game, it's Jordan James. If I could have 11 Jordan Jameses against Ipswich, I would, because he can shoot, he can pass, and he can basically score. So that's what we want. Someone with passion.
He could score.
Having the time of his life, Steve.
Oh, Jordan James, watch him play on a Saturday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Sunday sometimes, and maybe a Friday or a Monday.
Well, actually, Rich, you'll watch him play this Saturday.
Well, if he's not injured.
Is he injured?
Well, if he's not injured, because I tell you what, if that were the reason we did bring him off, then I think we could struggle in midfield, to be fair, because Skip's been picking up the performances as of late, Oliver Skip. He's one that gave it a decent run. Against Derby, were fantastic. Against Bristol City, I think he had a lot more to do in that second half, and he just left himself on his own, which created a lot more space for Bristol to get into. But yeah, we've got to be better than more than 45 minutes, Rich, is what I'm saying against Ipswich. We know the quality you have got in the squad with Clark, Philogene. We know George Hurst likes a goal sometimes. He probably doesn't butter his bread a lot more consistently than what you'd hope he would. McAteer, let's talk about Kasey McAteer, £12 million. We've had your pants down, basically. What has been your thoughts on McAteer? What is the fan base at Ipswich saying about the former Leicester City, should we call him winger, Steve? Fullback?
Wingback, I would say. I think he's better as a wingback. So the problem with Kasey, and I said this to you before, is that I think as a winger, he's not going to make it as a winger. I think he's technically not good enough to be a take on your fullback winger. And look, he's not consistent with the end product. But if you play him as a wingback, putting balls into the box from there, I think he'd be all right, because defensively he's okay. He's just not great in the attacking section.
Yeah, when I see him, it's what has he got about him? What would I say is his strengths? I agree with you. I don't think he's technically that good. I don't think he's got a trick, Steve. I'd say, like, as a winger, you might have a trick where you can go on the outside, maybe you can come on the inside. I think I'd bring him back in the team on Saturday. I'd play him on the right instead of we got a lad called Sindro Wale Egerle, who is the most expensive championship signing ever, Jack. Check him out. He's Norwegian, plays on the right. He's got a better goal ratio for the young Norway, all the age groups, than Haaland. He's a really good player. He's just sort of come into his own got a couple of goals, scored against Cov, scored the equaliser at Blackburn. But I think away from home, it does seem like Kasey's sort of more. Kieran sort of trusts him a little bit because he's, like you say, Steve, he's good, quite good defensively, McAteer. You know what you're going to get, I think, with him up and down that line. He's not going to be amazing, but I think he'll put the work in. I think away from home, sometimes you just need to. You need that defensive solidity, and then you can bring on maybe your attacking player in that position a bit later in the game if he's still in the game or you're behind. But yeah, I don't think he obviously hasn't scored a goal yet, McAteer.
There's always at the weekend.
Yeah, there's always the first, but I think for 12 million, that's the main takeaway that you would look at when you sign Kasey McAteer, and you think, blimey, we've paid 12 million for someone who works hard, who basically, that's it. We had a lad called Caden Jackson. Who we'd signed from Accrington, and he played in the relegation team, stayed with us, played in League One, played in the Championship. He's at Derby now. Now, he played out there. He cost $1 million. He started as a striker, and then they moved him as a wide forward. Now, he wasn't the greatest player, but I'd have him every day of the week over Kasey McAteer, and he only cost $1 million. You know, and this is it. At the time, and even looking now, I just think it's a weird signing, McAteer. I just think it's, for the money you're paying, I don't really understand why we signed him. I might be wrong. In the second half of the season, he might come into his own. He might score some crucial goals, and he might play a part in, hopefully, you get him promoted. But then when you get promoted, you need technical players in the Premier League. And even there, I think, he did score against us last time, didn't he? He scored in the game, the 2-0 win. So,
he did last season when Jamie Vardy scored his goal.
I've yet to see anything really of him than just hard work and a bit of graft. And I expect a bit more, possibly, but then you guys told us what he was like anyway. So you always watch football with your eyes, don't you? And I do get sometimes when a player gets sold, people say, "Oh, he's crap" and whatever. But I'm not saying he's crap, but what I've seen, I'd say, let's just
You're not saying he's crap, but you're thinking it.
Let's just say distinctly average at the moment.
I wonder. So, who do you play at right back at the moment?
Darnell Furlong plays there.
I wonder if, because I thought Leif Davis would leave this summer, to be honest. I wonder if he was signed to be sort of that sort of position, left back, right back, because he can play on the left as well as the right.
Yeah, I mean, look, Leif Davis is probably he struggled in the Premier League, Steve. He was great League One, Championship, I think 33 assists, and obviously when you're making that step up, it's difficult, you know. I think Leif could still play in the Premier League, but I think he could play in a better team. The way he plays with us, you'll see him on Saturday. Down that side, I'd say that's our strongest bit of the team. Him and Jaden Philogene work really well together. Philogene, for me, and I was quite surprised, his defensive work's improved a lot. You know, obviously going forward, he's talented, he can score some great goals, but he's working hard the other way. But I think you can exploit a little bit of space in behind Davis, because he will play quite hard. We're a little bit imbalanced with our fullbacks, because you'll see Furlong, he's more of a defensive fullback. He's not going to get forward a lot, whereas Davis they're trying to play him in a little bit of a different position. They're trying to play him inverted, Steve, which I don't think that some of the positions he picks up, I don't think it suits Davis, because he's very left-footed. And sometimes you pick up them spaces inside where you need to have a right foot as well. Leif's not got a right foot, but he's very good. He's quick. He's up and down that line. He's probably one of our biggest assets, but probably one of our biggest weaknesses as well, if you know what I mean, in leaving space. In the Championship, I think you can probably get away with it, because you're not going to be playing against as good a players as in the Premier League. In the Premier League, every little mistake that you make, you know, it's analysed. You see it on Match of the Day, Monday Night Football, whatever. You're under the microscope every single time. But yeah, look, I like Davis. I think he's a good player. He signed a new contract. which I was really happy at, because you obviously, when you've played in the Premier League, that's where you want to play football, isn't it? You get the old bright lights of the Premier League. And
well, he was also linked for playing for England, wasn't he? So I think he'd probably want to get back to push into that England squad. But I don't
think he's quite good enough when I look at the left backs that I see in who they've got. Livramento plays out there. I mean, Lewis Hall at Newcastle, Skelly at Arsenal. He's not as good as them. He's not as good as them players. But if he was playing for a better team in the Premier League with better players, I think he'd have a chance possibly for England. But at the minute, I'm happy that he's playing at Town and he wants to play and he wants to stay. I think that's important. That you want players, don't you? You go to the Championship like yourselves. A lot of your players probably don't want to be there.
Yeah.
You got to get your head around it. You got to get your head around. You're back in the Championship. Get your head down. You're not in the Premier League anymore. You've got more games. You're more of a target. Some of these, they've seen you play on Match of the Day. They think, well, hang on, who's this player? But you can't just think, oh, just because I played in the Premier League, that you think, I'm just going to turn up here and I'm going to be good enough. It don't work like that.
Let's get into foot in both camps.
Here we go. Right, everyone, go get your cup of tea and your popcorn. Here we go.
No, get your custard creams out of the cupboard. This could take a while. You might finish your bar then.
I love taking the piss, Jack. It's one of my favourite things. My wife hates it. She always says to me, if you stop taking the piss out of me, I know there's an issue and we're going to break up. So I just have to keep doing it. So that's all I'm here for.
It's all right, then we'll break up after this. Right. First one on the list. Asmir Begovic.
6 games he played for Town.
I didn't know he played for Ipswich until
he was on loan. I think we had him on
loan. Marcus Bent played for both.
He had more clubs than Tiger Woods, Jack. Jesus Christ. He's been around the block, hasn't he?
Wayne Brown.
Less said about Wayne Brown, the better.
Yeah. Best said.
How many games did he play for Leicester?
Quite a lot, to be fair.
48.
Yeah, Mr. BMP.
He got removed by Leicester for political issues. That's what it was. Yeah.
Let's put it right. He came into training one day and was loudly talking about how he was going to vote for the BNP because he was sick of certain people being in the country. And bear in mind, he's surrounded by a lot of, different cultures. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And not ideal. Allegedly, Chris, Wayne, sorry if you're watching, allegedly.
Yeah, they might got filled in with to know. Yeah. And then Nigel Pearson basically had him out by the shout lot. Yeah, he can't be here anymore. Alex Bruce played for both clubs. Obviously, he had a lot more at Ipswich, 115 appearances.
Yeah, he was always good for a yellow card. Was Alex Bruce when he was at Town?
Mr. DJ Campbell. He's through. No, he's not. He's offside. He spent more times offside than he scored goals for Leicester City. That bloke. Jamie Clapham. I mean, he played 217 games for Ipswich.
Yeah, we got him on a free from Spurs. He was good for us when we were in the Premier League in 2000.
We had him. We had him in 2007. Damien Delaney played 8 games for Leicester, 98 for Ipswich. Matt Elliott, who I had the pleasure of meeting last night and having a good chat with. We had dinner together.
Him on loan.
Yeah, Creek.
Him on loan. Good player he was.
Great defender. We need defenders like that to this day. I said to him last night, I said, were you and Ben Nelson in defence? I said, we'd do all right, I said, you're quick and Vestergaard. He said, yeah, I've got blessed for pace. And he were a top defender.
Has he got even now? He's quicker than Vestergaard, is he?
I still think he'd do a job. I don't see why not. Even if you had bloody Jerry Taggart still running the lines, I think he'd still do a bloody better job.
Do you know what's crazy, right? I know that Vestergaard is slow.
Yeah.
But you can almost guarantee he would still beat all of us in a 5K race.
He probably would. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Vestergaard, if you're watching. I'm not blessed with pace. I run faster for food, but I ain't running fast on a football pitch. Martin Fuller. I tell you what, he was a top goalkeeper on loan from Sunderland for us. Obviously, you signed him, didn't you, Rich, in 2010? Martin Fuller.
He
Obviously, the
played.
late Martin Fuller, but he did sadly pass away in the end.
He played in the snow game. He was our goalkeeper in the snow game.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great picture. I think there's him, there's Delaney, there's a few of them looking out of the tunnel when they're obviously having a break and they're clearing the lines. They're out there. It's a great picture.
I hated that game. I travelled all that way.
Sven was managing them, wasn't he?
It didn't get called off. Jason Scotland scored. I remember the game very well. Yeah. Couldn't bloody see a thing until Roy Keane started threatening the refs.
Roy Keane in the dugout. He'd have burnt the snow away with his breath, wouldn't he? Like,
tell you what, I think he'd scare it off the pitch if he'd got on it.
There was no way that game should have ever been finished.
Vesti would have his dog with him on the run, though. He probably would, on the training ground. George Hurst, obviously played for both clubs. He made 17 appearances for Leicester.
Did he score any goals for you?
No, he didn't. He did for the under-23s, though.
Doesn't count. Don't count.
He did for the under-23s. I think he scored about 11 goals. It's what's on here. He's played 101 appearances for Ipswich. Patrick Kisnorbo. He were a decent fullback for us.
He hardly played for us. We had him on loan, I think.
Tom Lawrence, another one who didn't really play much for either side, really. Ian Marshall. I remember Marshall's goal against Derby. What was it? The one against Derby where he scored in that 4 goals in 20 minutes, Ian Marshall.
He had short hair when he played for you. He had the old shaggy hair when he was playing for Town.
1996 to 1999 played for Leicester, 85 appearances. For you, he played for 1996, 84 appearances. Spent 3 years at Town.
How many goals did he score for Town?
Let's have a look. So I don't know. He got 19 for us. I'm just trying to flick it over. No, I can't get out for McAteer, Jamie Scowcroft. James Scowcroft. What were he like, Rich? 211 appearances this year.
He come through our academy. He was a very good player. He was. He did have an amazing mullet, Marshall. Can't comment there. Scully, good player, and then he played in the Premier League for us in the first season, and then he went to you, and we sold Richard Wright and him, and then we got relegated. So he was a good player, and then we had him back on loan. I think when Joe Royal was manager, he come back in, and he played about 5 or 6 appearances. He didn't score a goal, and I think he got 4 or 5 yellow cards. So good player. I think he's at the club. He does bits at the club now, but I think he's a scout now for Crystal Palace.
Danny Simpson, down in the Leicester Legends of winning the Premier League title. Sean St. Ledger did play for Ipswich. Richard Stearman played for both. David Stockdale, Ben Thatcher, Martin Waghorn. Waghorn were good for Leicester, wasn't he, Steve, on loan? Never really cut it, did he, when he signed permanently in the end? I think that was a bit of a panic move by Paulo Sousa to sort of get the fans back on side.
Yeah, he wasn't up to scratch for Leicester after that loan spell. I think the Cardiff, because we all forget that yes, Jan Kermagat missed that penalty, but so did Waghorn in that game. I think maybe he was a bit scarred by that, and he didn't really hit his peak after for us. But look, he's still a decent player. He's had a good career, Martin Waghorn. And to be fair, a couple of years ago, football manager, he was a proper signing for me in the National League. So big up Waggy.
Yeah. Let's have a look on here. What else have we got? Richie Welland. Did he play
a little bit? No, we had him on loan.
He was a good midfielder for us, Richie Welland. Real battling midfielder. Obviously, on this day, he scored that goal against Doncaster, that long ranger Stephen, the 5-1 win. And then Chris Wood. What would he like?
For us, terrible. Yeah. We had him on loan the season we got in the playoffs under McCarthy, and he came and he weren't really fit, and he never really played because we had Daryl Murphy that season. He got, I think, 27 goals. So Wood never really got a look in. He didn't score a goal for us.
Right, so managers. The following managers have taken charge of both Leicester City and Ipswich Town during their careers. So George Burley.
George Burley managed Leicester.
George Burley managed Leicester.
No, he didn't manage Leicester.
It says on here, managed Leicester City is player Matt Gillies era, not a manager.
No,
it's White States.
George Burley did not manage Leicester City.
No, he did not.
Brian Hamilton.
He never managed.
If you type in George Burley, Leicester City, it comes up with his player Matt Gillies era, not a manager. It just says manage Leicester City for some reason.
No. George Burley's connection to Leicester primarily revolves around his time as manager of rival clubs.
Oh, right.
He never managed Leicester City. Bloody hell, Jack. This is on its arse.
Oh, it is.
Ayr United, Colchester, Ipswich, Derby,
Brian Hamilton,
Southampton, Scotland, Crystal Palace, Apollo Limassol. There you go. George Burley never managed Leicester.
Jack's there like, fuck, I got both of them on here doing it to me now, the bastards.
Blame AI. I asked AI.
Why you shouldn't trust AI? You check it. Check. That's a disgrace.
Now coming on the stage.
Oh, Luke Littler's on. It's the darts. Do you watch the darts, boys?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. No, Steve?
Not really. No, I'm not a big darts person.
Oh, come on. Get involved.
Right, blame the AI for George Burley. I don't know why, but he said he managed Leicester. I weren't certain of it anyway at first. I just sort of looked at it and I'm thinking, George Burley? Where's that come from? I know Brian Hamilton were one for Leicester because Steve Walsh talks about him quite a lot. Score prediction then and team. Do you think you'll keep the same team, Rich, that played against Stoke or...
Well, he's obviously McKenna. This is where he's coming for a little bit of criticism, Jack. That he's tinkered quite a lot this season. He'd be making 4, 5, 6 changes, and then they asked him last Friday. I like McKenna. He's one of these managers where they'll ask him a question and he'll give you a proper answer. He won't just skirt around. You know, some of these managers, you just think you don't really find out anything. Whereas McKenna, he talks really well, but then the last 2 games, he made one change on yesterday night against Stoke. Hurst was suspended, so Ivan Azon played up front. Hurst will come back in Saturday. McAteer, for me, plays instead of Agelli. Other than that, I would expect him to keep sort of the... We have played Wednesday, and then it's a quick turnaround, so he possibly might change it. I think now you've got you. He knows his strongest 11. You have to make minimal changes now because he always talks about players and relationships on the pitch. And if you keep changing it, you're not really going to get that, are you? If you keep changing quite a few players. So I think he'll stick to sort of what he's gone with in the last couple of games. Hurst and McAteer in, but other than that, I'd keep the same team. If you Philogene, you've got to look for him. He's a danger man for you. Nunez has been a good signing, Jack, from Norwich. He's got 7 goal involvements, and he's looking quite good. Can't talk a lot of English. Every time they video him, he's just like, "Come on, track the boys." It's literally all he says. It's literally all he says. How they commit, obviously, like footballers, you don't really need to like speak the same language, but yeah, that's all he says. He just grins away. I don't think he really gives a toss about coming to it. I don't think he even probably understands that he's crossed the divide from Norwich to Ipswich. I don't think he's one of them ones. I don't think he cares. It's just like
he don't understand.
He doesn't. He don't understand the rivalry. But he's been an excellent signing. They were all telling us, Norwich fans, "Oh, it's a good deal for us." You know, he's injury prone. He's touch wood. He's not been injured so far. He's played quite a lot of football, so hopefully that continues. Hopefully, he has a good game on Saturday.
Yep. Leicester, Steve. No George Burley. Joking. Blame Google. Every team he managed played against Leicester. Fucking AI. Not trusting that again. Right, Hamza's going to come out, isn't he, Steve, for Ricardo. Jordan James. I don't know the reason he came off. He probably looked like he were knackered more than anything.
No,
but,
he had a slight groin injury.
Right. So he's a question mark then. So who do you replace Jordan James with if we do not go with him at the weekend?
Oh, why did you throw me these really depressing questions, Jack?
Who do we put in?
You know, it's like going, how do you want your cat to die? Like, that's how depressing this is. Oh God, if he drops, maybe Lewis Page. I think Louis Page maybe comes in and plays next to Skip.
What other midfielders we even got? I mean, we've got Ricardo.
Maybe Ricardo comes in and Hamza pulls into midfield and does that role.
Maybe. Right. Yeah, we'll go with that then. So it's more like a defensive.
Okay, now it's depressing, isn't it? When you talk like that.
Worried about JJ's score, and this is what my life has come to. Exactly. When you lose your best players, mate, it ain't pretty. I'm sure of you that one. We've got bloody Wafer in bloody squad at the minute. We haven't really got many players we can, can come in and do a job. January's going to be very telling. So if we can buy players or we can't, depending on this scenario PSR. Score prediction, boys. What did you go for? I went 1-1.
3-1 Town.
2-1 Town.
And the last question, what did you think to my food last night?
It's too much. There's too many carbs in that.
There's a lot there, isn't there? There's a lot to get through. That looks quite deep.
I tell you what, it weren't deep.
It looks better than your Yorkshire pudding at Derby.
Yeah, it's the first time that Jack's ever heard the words, it's maybe a bit too deep.
Have you got chips in there?
I have.
Fucking hell. I don't think you need the chips.
Well, I didn't. Well, I just said to her, could I have a chicken gyros wrap with halloumi, which I'd paid a little extra for the halloumi, by the way, because he weren't just going to put it in. And then I said, "What you get in it?" He said, "Chips. You can have salad." I like lettuce. I'm not a tomato fan, so I'm not having none of that. He said tzatziki sauce, bit of sriracha, and yeah, it were really nice. It were a bit too filling though in the end. Obviously, a lot of carbs, a lot of protein, and
how much?
Yeah, £13.50. But I tell you what, though, if anyone goes to Bristol City as a Town fan, again at some point in the near future, they have got a lot of food places. They've got a carvery thing where they do Yorkshire pudding wraps. They've got pizzas. They've got fish and chips. They've got chicken. They've got Greek. They've got everything. They've got a range of good stuff. So
I can't look at Yorkshire pudding wraps. I just can't. Also, I'm glad that nobody else heard my comment then, but Ray did. So there you go, Ray. There's a little comment between you and I there, mate, about what I said.
Well, what did you say?
Oh, I said you were like, oh, it was a bit too deep, and that's the first time Jack's ever heard that in his life.
Wow. That's the match day vlog. I was fuming. All right.
Unbelievable.
Richard's face is giving up.
Quality.
Right, boys. Promote the championship prediction.
Look at them. Look at the faces. Look at them three beautiful faces there.
They look like it's going to come deep.
Look at that. It's looking good.
Steve's not sure. Right, go on then. Promote the championship predictions.
Which one?
Yeah, go and check it out. It's a great show. It's always a great show, isn't it? How many likes we got so far, Steve, on that? We're going for what? 60 this time? There's no reason not to hit the like button.
Exactly, you bastards. Do it.
Yeah.
We currently have 32 likes on there. So go over there, drop it a like.
Lovely. So if anyone's watching this and you haven't watched the championship predictions, you need to catch up. Go and check it out. Don't worry about EastEnders and everything like that you've missed. Go and watch that instead.
Do anyone still watch EastEnders?
Apparently. Who watches normal TV nowadays?
I mean, that is depressing. Christmas time when you're in a soap, someone's going to die, isn't they? Someone's going to have an affair at Christmas. It all comes out.
Well, some people get too into it, believe it's real. I don't know, but
depressing. They've still got a laundrette in Walford.
People even cry about it. I'm like, we cried for to get up afterwards. I don't know.
Let's hope you're crying. Let's hope you two are crying on Saturday night.
I will be anyway.
Right. All right, then. That's it. Preview done. Take care, everyone. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. And go and subscribe to Suffolk Crunch. Our mate Rich, who will probably disown after if they beat us at the weekend. So, yeah, he's a part of the furniture for now until the weekend. But no, cheers, everyone.
Removed. Are you going to remove me?
Not really.
Like an old sofa, leave me at the side of the road.